Hello there, everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful work week. So they told me there would be no math in marketing. Now, historically, marketers aren't renowned for their mathematical skills. I mean, the old saying when I first started in marketing was that, well, marketers really only worried about two things, the logo and the Pantone colors. A lot has changed since digital and technology entered the picture about 25 years ago, but has it gone too far? There's some new research out that's a snapshot of today's CMO priorities, and well, it looks like now it's not logos and Pantone colors that are the only thing marketers are concerned with. If these results are right, in a few years, the only thing marketers are going to be doing is, well, pushing buttons, managing technology. Yeah, that's right. No more ads, no more content, no more pretty pictures, just 100% pushing buttons, reading dashboards, and, well, automating everything. Yikes. They said AI would be what puts us marketers into the matrix, but you know what? It might just be MarTech in general. So what are we supposed to do about it? Well, let's explore. This is a few minutes of what's new in marketing that might help you lead your business's strategy. Let's, unplug for a minute and roll. Hello everybody, Robert Rose here with What's New in Marketing. It is about what's new in marketing, but most importantly, it's something important in marketing that we think may help you become a better leader. And if we can help you or your team with content marketing services, including custom training, consultation, ongoing implementation of your content marketing approach, get on over to contentmarketinginstitute.com, fill out that form, and let's just talk. Let's talk about it. Anyway, so it's no surprise that marketers have been wrapped around the axle of marketing technology for the last 2 decades. More and yet more technology has been dumped into our operation, so as to make the average marketing department, by the way, resemble the control room of NASA rather than a place where we create interesting, powerful content and great pictures that change the behavior of our intended customers. I mean, in fact, quite literally this week, Scott Brinker's famous MarTech Landscape Report was released, and it now has over 14,000 providers. 14,000, 27% more than the 11,000 that it had on it last year. And the report goes on to talk about how, many marketing departments have indeed reduced the number of apps they're using, but they haven't reduced them all that much. Most companies have reduced them between 6 and 10%. But it's the actual numbers, the numbers that are staggering. Small businesses, for example, reduce their stacks by 6%. That sounds impressive, but it's from 172 to 162 apps. I mean, big companies, those over 10,000, reduce them from 664 technology apps to 650. 650 different marketing technology applications. It's just mind-boggling. But more to the point of how fundamentally marketing technology is disrupting marketing is the latest CMO study, which was just released from the Duke's College's Business School. So this is the 32nd year of their CMO survey, and this year's research, it looked at marketing spending, performance, leadership, and of course, technology, and especially, of course, the growth of generative AI. First, here's what didn't surprise me. What didn't surprise me was that AI still, according to the research, hasn't really gotten integrated traction as a fundamental piece of MarTech in most businesses. The research found that only 10% of companies are actively using large language models. Another 39% have not used these tools at all, and the remaining half, 51%, are either evaluating or just piloting these tools. As we've been observing for the last 8 or so months, most businesses don't know how to integrate generative AI or are still in experimental mode. But second, here's what did surprise me. Here's what really did surprise me. Marketing budgets are a bit of a mixed bag here. So budget as a percentage of the company budget is down around 10%, which is continuing a downward trend that the researchers have seen over the last 2 years. However, marketing budget as a percent of revenue, it actually increased about 1% to 10.1%, up from 9.2% in the fall of last year. Now, what does that mean? Well, it suggests that in most companies, marketing budget growth was a lot slower than other departments in the business. Yeah, it went up, but not as much as other functions in the business. But, and this is the key thing, this is the thing that really surprised me. So the budget for marketing technology, according to the research, is now 20%. 20% of the entire marketing budget. And this is the punchline. Marketers expect that to grow to 31% over the next 5 years. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. We're expecting to spend a compound annual growth rate of 9% per year more on technology, while our budgets are growing at a compound growth rate of 8%. So what does that mean? I mean, I know we're not good at math, but what does this mean? It means that these CMOs seem to be saying, well, for every dime plus a few quarters that our marketing budget increases, there's going to be more of an increase in marketing technology budget dedicated to it over the next 5 years. Now, of course, I got to believe that that won't turn out to be true. I mean, I have to chalk some of this up to the casualness of the way marketers are thinking about their projections. So I do take some of this with a big grain of salt. However, even if it's not exactly right, the one trend that's troubling for us as we look ahead to the future of marketing, content, and the activities is the activities that our teams are performing on a day-to-day basis. You see, too often we see marketing chasing technology as a cure-all to a strategy. It's not unfamiliar to us that we see marketing departments looking at the newest technology to add capabilities that will become their strategic approach, rather than looking at their strategic approach and then figuring out what new technology might help them execute it. The numbers coming from the CMO survey are a real clear warning. They're a warning sign for us in marketing. Now, it's not a warning that we need to stop getting new technology. No, of course not. Marketing is changing, evolving, and technologies exist to help us scale better, work more efficiently, and work more effectively. Rather, we need to reorient our marketing operational systems. Now, what do I mean by that, by marketing systems? Well, I mean that we have to remember that most marketing technology is by design meant for one very particular job function and one particular part of marketing. Because of digital technology, marketing and, well, its new complexity often becomes just small groups of technology silos that come around that tool that they use every day. The demand gen teams spend their time in the marketing automation system. The analytics and web team spends their time in the CMS. The web analytics and email team spend their time in the email newsletter solution. Sales spends its time in the CRM system, and on and on and on. I mean, is it any wonder that when we see companies looking at Gen AI, well, they're coming up with hundreds of use cases because they're all siloed into their functional requirements. So what we need to take a moment to look at is not what we are marketing, but how we are marketing as a business. Are we all working in technology silos or are we collaborating across integrated processes and workflows that transcends whatever tools we may need? Think about it like this. About half, and in fact 56% according to the CMO survey, of the technology solutions that marketing teams buy are being used. That means 44% of all the technology spend is going unused by teams. So if we believe that 20% of all marketing budgets are going to the technology, that means that roughly 9% of our entire marketing budget is going down the proverbial toilet, unused. 9%. What would you do with a 9% budget increase in your marketing strategy? Would you make some good use out of that? Yeah, I suspect you would. So what these numbers are warning us of, or promising us of, is that getting our marketing systems, our operations, our governance, our workflow, our collaboration with each other is worth it. It might just be the biggest ROI initiative we can put in place. And that's a few minutes of what's new in marketing. Remember, it's your story to tell. Let's figure out how to collaborate better, and then we can figure out how we're going to tell it well. I'll see you next week.